Is it great to be alive on a Monday in Buffalo, New York, or what? Welcome to the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast, episode number 23. And we're going to break down Monday Night Raw. As always, thank you guys so much for joining us. I am Mike with 716 Sports Entertainment, joined by Mr. T. Reese and Mr. Sean O'Neill, looking a little dapper today. And guys, Monday Night Raw opened with CM Punk coming out, plugging the show, doing his usual, is it great to be alive in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or what? And kind of brought back vibes of the summer of Punk and, talked about what he's going to do when and if he wins Money in the Bank. Talked about how, Jey Uso's his boy, but, only one of them can be at the top of that mountain. And then similarly, he kind of called John Cena a fraud and really kind of blasted Rock the Dwayne Johnson a little bit as well in his tweet, in his promo, which was pretty good. He was quickly interrupted, not interrupted, just Sami Zayn's music just hit, and he came out and they kind of had a heartfelt promo, and Sami Zayn told him, "Look, dude, you need to win. We need to stop Seth Rollins and his bullshit, and you're going to be the only one that's going to save this show from just complete anarchy." So overall, I thought this was a very effective segment to kind of build the match, that was going to be the main event of the evening. And yeah, what did you guys think of the way this show kicked off overall?
I really enjoyed it. I thought that it definitely, once Zayn came out, we know obviously everything that's still going on with that group and Rollins' group, but it felt like it raised the stakes for just the qualifier match alone. Um, my only point is that we should have all known that there was going to be shenanigans throughout the night, and I feel like they should have addressed having each other's backs a little bit more. But I thought it was a really good opening to the show overall.
It was definitely a really good opening. But can we put Sami Zayn in the Hall of Fame for one of the greatest promo talkers in the ring of all time? I mean, dude does it with emotion. He does it anger. I mean, he does a great job in the ring and gets his message across. And it generally feels heartfelt when he does it. And then this particular promo was great. I mean, this was like, Apollo Creed talking up Rocky. You know what I mean? Like, yo, get in there. He's a dinosaur, Rocky. But it was a great opening to the show. I think CM Punk looked a little emotional too. Like I looked like he was trying to fight back a little emotion there because Sami Zayn came across so well. But yeah, it was a great opening to the night and a great way to lead up to the featured match.
Yeah, I think the show is really helped by its stars, right? And like having your stars in your opening and your closing segments of the show really, really helps a lot. And it was nice that we kind of neglected to mention that CM Punk did come out at the very tail end of Raw last week. But, having him start off the show, come out and, cut a promo and kind of like lay out all the big players, right? Like lay out Jey Uso, lay out John Cena, lay out Rock, and like really just, kind of help sort of build the universe of everything that is going on, right? And I think that they definitely need to do more of this, and this was a very good way to kick off the show.
I mean, we all know that Punk is so incredibly good on promos. Even though he may not physically be what he used to be in the ring, this showed that he's 100% still incredible with a microphone.
And also, I mean, my favorite line of it was, when you win, you and me be face to face in the ring, and it'd be a different conversation. What a line! Yep. I mean, it was great. It was great.
I like that a lot. To your point
and
about
the handshake.
Yeah, I completely agree. Sami Zayn is definitely one of the best talkers they have. The women's tag team champions, Liv and Raquel, were in the back when Roxanne walked up, and Liv kind of warned her to sort of not get into her business. And as Liv was walking away to go out to the ring for her match, she kind of ran into Io Sky, and she was like, "I'm going to come for I'm going to be coming for your title when I win." Blah blah blah. So this immediately led to our opening match, which was the women's triple threat for the final qualifier for the Money in the Bank ladder match between Liv Morgan, Ivy Nile, who is obviously there to take the pin, and a officially debuting Stephanie Vaquer with brand new entrance music, which looked absolutely badass. This match was awesome. It was an excellent match. Right off the muscle, these women just started, killing each other. Um, I'll let you guys kind of break into the match a little bit, but it had all of the all the big plays. Vaquer did her devil's kiss move, obviously, and Liv went for attempted to do the Three Amigos before it was broken up, and she attempted to go for the Oblivion as well, and that got broken up by Stephanie as well. But I thought it was a fantastic match. What did you guys think?
Well, I did think that the weird thing was I still don't understand the Raquel thing, being mad at her for actually helping her out. They didn't really address that. It's almost like, who cares? Other than that, blooper. I'm going to be honest with you. This was a great match. This was a really good match. And what a way to let Vaquer show off herself and pull off the win in this, which was shocking to me. I did not expect that. So is she going to be doing double duty, I guess, this weekend, right?
Yeah, she is.
She got the tag match, and then she has to get the Money in the Bank. I mean, what a way to debut onto the main roster. You couldn't ask for a better timing for her. She's gonna get a lot of exposure to people who haven't really seen her. Who generally not everybody watches NXT, but you can really see why she's a coveted talent in wrestling right now. She's a great wrestler.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the match, and like I said there, I had a hard time seeing them debut Vaquer with a loss. Even in a multi-person match. I mean, I guess if you're going to have her lose a match, it is a multi-person, but she's your brand new star. You want her to debut and make an impact. And what bigger impact than to win a qualifying match, to be in one of your biggest matches of the year. I mean, so now we have Vaquer in this match, we have Julia, and we have Roxanne Perez. So 3 out of the 6 people are brand new people. I mean, when's the last time that's happened?
Mm-hmm. Well, NXT is Triple H's baby.
So to that point, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match is set with Naomi, Julia, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss, Stephanie Vaquer, and Mami. So I think it's gonna be a great match. I think it's gonna be the best match on the card this weekend. Like, I'm not loving the men's match at all. I think it's so obvious that Seth Rollins is going to win the men's match because you just you have a bunch of nonsense people in there who are kind of take each other out, I think. And I don't see anybody else being relevant to take the briefcase where it makes sense, right? Solo doesn't make sense. LA Knight doesn't make sense. El Grande is going to be doing double duty, so he's not going to win. He was only
double duty.
He's wrestling the AAA show as well.
No, he's not.
And then Penta is, maybe they give it to Penta, but I think it's probably too early for Penta. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't see it going to anybody else but Seth Rollins. And I think that this women's match is it's fascinating because honestly, I think any one of them could win. Literally any one of these women could win. And I think it would be great.
I think Rhea is the only one who is probably not going to win.
Rhea's the only one who doesn't need it. Well, right? Because Rhea can get a title match without this, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't give it to her because she's never won it before.
I think one of the new girls, but I'm sure we're going to do a video on our predictions, we'll deal with that then.
Well, who was it that you were saying was it going to be on the show or is wrestling show?
What was that?
You said Mike had said someone was supposed to be wrestling.
Oh, double duty. El Grande is only wrestling on the one show.
Yeah, because Chad Gable's wrestling on the other show.
Well, why are you assuming they're the same person?
I'm on Team Michael Cole here.
Okay, just because you guys share a name.
No, but seriously though, I mean, I'll tell you right now, you know what sells itself? Mommy in the Bank.
Yeah.
Tell me that doesn't sell itself. So, I mean, any one of these women could win. So, moving on, AJ Styles was warming up backstage when he ran into, Paul Heyman kind of ran into him and, wanted to wish him a belated happy birthday and then proceeded to kind of talk him into going after Dominic Mysterio in the Intercontinental Championship. and basically was kind of telling him, look, Seth Rollins is the future and you're not. And, AJ delivered a line to him. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, and kind of smacked him in the back and sort of walked off. This also led into a video package of Rusev talking about how he was disappointed in Sheamus, and kind of showed some footage from their past where they conveniently cut out Alberto Del Rio, and they just kind of had the two of them there. And it's going to build to obviously a match between the two of them, because then we did obviously have Sheamus and cut a promo with Kathy Kelly as well, basically, calling out Rusev, saying, we were brothers back then and he was in my wedding, but I got to take this guy down a few pegs. So I thought both of these were good, and the one obviously helping to build up the main event, and the one kind of helping to move us towards a future segment.
Who is this Alberto Del Rio you speak of? I don't remember this man. That's going to be a slobber knocker of a match, in the words of good old JR.
Well, I mean, the only thing I got is I'm still trying to figure out what the direction is with AJ right now.
Yeah,
I mean, he just hasn't come on top of any of most of the storylines he's been involved in lately. He just kind of getting pushed down and pushed down. It's almost like, you're trying to keep him as a mid-card person. And AJ should be a featured guy at any pay-per-view. So I just don't understand why they're doing that to him. I'm a bit confused. Maybe they're lining him up with the Karrion Kross thing. I'm hoping. Get my boy Karrion Kross out there. But they got to do something with our boy AJ. But it was a good segment. I mean, again, you're watching Paul Heyman doing his little wormy stuff, running around, putting messages in people's ears and stuff before they get into matches. He's even doing this more so than he used to do with Roman Reigns. Like, yep. I've never seen him get involved in this many different wrestlers and getting in their ears. So I really like the way they're pulling this storyline off.
This led us into a tag team match between the Judgment Day of Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus the Viking War Experience Raiders. And this match, I mean, the story of this match was obviously going to be, Roxanne coming to the aid of the Judgment Day to kind of help them win, to sort of further that storyline that's going on. And there was obviously segments afterwards, kind of furthering the tension between Balor and Dom and Liv and Roxanne. But one of the things I want to talk about here, I think more so than this match, because this was a relatively nothing match. I mean, it's cool to see the Viking War Experience Raiders. Like, I think that they're really fun in the ring, but I really want to get your guys' feedback on kind of the reoccurring theme of the night, and that was the "We Want Truth" chants, which were especially prevalent here. So, what did you guys think of that as a kind of a reoccurring theme throughout the evening? And then if you want to talk about this match too, feel free.
Go ahead, Sean.
I think it's incredibly disrespectful to the athletes in the ring. I get that people are upset that the TKO decided to not renew Truth's contract. It's not like they went out of their way to cut him. They chose to not renew the contract of a man who was approaching his mid-50s. Yes, he's a fan favorite. Like, there's a time and a place, though, and doing it in the middle of a match is, I think, incredibly rude, trying to put the focus on the audience. And I think it's distasteful and disrespectful to the people competing in that match.
All right, well, let me ask you. Who are we to tell the crowd what they can say?
I'm not saying they can't say it. I'm saying that there's a better time and a place for it than in the middle of when a match is going on.
Okay, but hang on. This is fresh in everyone's ears. Everyone was shocked by this, even R-Truth. So let's be honest here. He should have been given a much classier release than just all of a sudden him having to tell us that he's been released from the WWE. You know that. I know that. I don't think the wrestlers cared that they were yelling for Truth, because most of the locker room is pissed off about the same thing too. So they were probably happy to hear that people are yelling Truth's name. And I think you're looking at it too deep. Those wrestlers are going to wrestle regardless of the sound of the crowd. If anything, it will push them harder to wrestle, considering the crowds are yelling for R-Truth during the match. That kind of tells you what people thought about the match, if you ask me. But the way they released him, they should not have released him the way they did. R-Truth deserved better than that, and I'm fine with the crowd letting TKO know.
So who released the news that R-Truth's contract wasn't renewed?
R-Truth.
Truth,
Yeah.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
So why did he feel the need to do that? Why couldn't he have been classy and just not said anything and let his contract run out?
Wait a minute, that'd have been classy. So you're telling me every wrestler? You're telling me, hang on. How many wrestlers have been released recently?
There's a difference.
Hang on. I'm asking you, how many wrestlers released and then tweeted it on the internet?
There's a difference.
What is the difference?
They didn't renew his contract. They didn't cut him.
Mm-hmm.
Two different ways of being released. They chose not to renew the contract of
Carlito's in the same situation now. Are you mad that he put his out?
I'm mad that multiple people lost their job. But
no.
It's a business.
What I'm saying is, you thought R-Truth would automatically assume people are going to start chanting his name during a match. But Carlito did the same thing right after R-Truth put his statement out there. So
Carlito doesn't have the popularity of Truth.
No, I mean, but still, what's the difference?
And I didn't know that Carlito was released. I didn't see Carlito's thing, but I knew about Truth.
Well, yeah, because Truth is the most popular of the two. But my point is, if they did this to, I don't know, let's say they did it to AJ, would you feel the same way?
There would be fury if they did this to AJ.
That's what I'm asking. Would you feel the same way?
Yes.
You're so full of it. You are so full of it.
Dude, I am not letting you get away with this. Letting you get away with this.
Listen, this doesn't disappear off the internet. What a blatant lie you just said right now.
The internet is forever.
You be the only fan. The problem. Hold on, Sean. I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
No,
I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
No. How dare you?
You are not gonna tell me that if they did the same thing to AJ Styles, you'd feel the same way.
Different caliber of star. So you wouldn't see this happen to AJ Styles.
What?
How dare you? How dare you say their two names in the same sentence?
One thing I do want to say, which was kind of funny though, is when Liv Morgan was talking to Roxanne earlier in the show, Carlito obviously wasn't there, right? And Liv Morgan had made a comment that she, quote, never forgets anything, but they apparently all forgot about Carlito.
Which is pretty funny.
That was pretty hysterical.
But that's my point. You can't, it doesn't matter. It's the same action, regardless of what level they're at. You had three different levels of wrestlers, two of which, let's say if AJ, this happened to AJ, two of which tweeted it. You telling me you wouldn't be mad? So hold on. You wouldn't be mad if you weren't told that AJ was going to, his contract was going to be let up and he just disappeared off of TV? You wouldn't say anything?
Problem is, like I said, different calibers of wrestlers.
I ask you a question, Sean. Please don't deflect. You're telling me if AJ just disappeared into the ether, you just been like, oh well.
It's happened. Here's you want to make comparisons left and right? Okay. So where was this all for the rest of the people who all got released?
They were NXT.
Where was the outrage? Where was the chanting? I just think it's inappropriate.
They were mostly NXT people.
And R-Truth is a comedy wrestler who, you know what? I'm not letting you get away with this, but I'm done.
You should be. You're in an argument.
You know what's going to be very interesting, because there's been a lot of reports too, and we will move on after this. There's also been a lot of reports that Miz could be next as well. And I mean, could you imagine if they release Miz? My God, what a shitstorm that would be. Even I would be a little pissed. Like, I feel bad for R-Truth, but I get it. Like, comedy character, and they sort of gave him his flowers, like letting him wrestle Cena, because I'm assuming they knew that this was going to happen before that. Maybe that's why they did that. But like, you let somebody like Miz go. Miz has been on the roster for 21 years. Like, I'd be pissed if I was in that locker room.
Apparently, both Miz and Gunther deleted all like their WWE references on X. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just protesting Truth. being released, but it wasn't just Miz that did. Apparently, Gunther deleted all of his stuff too.
Gunther's not going anywhere. They
Like
just
I said,
bought. They just bought him. They just bought him a bus. He signed a 10-year deal.
Sean, was it okay that Gunther and them did that? Was that not classy?
it wasn't in the middle of a goddamn match.
Yeah, but you just erased all your history off of your tweets.
Okay.
Your WWE, you're okay with that's okay though.
Yes, because it wasn't in the middle of a goddamn match. My point is the disrespect to the people competing in the goddamn ring.
Okay, so when they boo somebody we like, you feel the same way?
No, because booing and cheering is different.
Oh, stop it. Just stop it.
We can do a special episode on this where you and I can go back and forth for 40 minutes. But
not today, Satan. Not today, Satan.
Okay, Team Race.
So, moving on, Becky Lynch cut a video promo package next, saying she's only been 6 weeks, and Lyra has already cost her tag team championships, her Money in the Bank qualifying match, and a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. And it was basically sort of a hype video for the Intercontinental Championship match that is going to be at Money in the Bank this weekend. And then Lyra obviously came to the ring, and Lyra again cut a monster promo. I am really, really impressed with Lyra, like a lot, and I think it's going to be a shame if Becky ends up taking the title off of her this weekend. But they had another promo back and forth segment and a pull apart brawl, and I think Lyra looks like $1 million.
Becky, this feud with Becky has really brought the best out of Lyra, and hopefully she can continue this role, whether or not she holds the title.
My only note for this is Lyra is. I agree with you guys 100%. She's doing some of the best work we've seen her so far. Only issue I still got is that I still thought they should have built more of a storyline with other wrestlers with that Intercontinental belt.
Yeah,
because now we already know. So if Becky, we're the best guess is that Becky's going to win that match, and they obviously want to put it on her waist to bring in more prominence. But you can do that without putting it on her waist if you involve the other wrestlers in it. So now you have a group of people fighting over this belt, which draws interest, and you can do whatever storylines you want or however you want to cross them. I kind of think they kind of rushed into this Becky thing.
Yeah, completely agree. Okay, so then we had the tag team match between Jey Uso, Sami Zayn versus the Brawls. And this match was obviously not going to end in any other way but a disqualification. I mean, it was a fantastic match. There was a lot of hard hitting in this match. But then obviously towards the end of the match, Seth Rollins comes down, hits a stomp on Jey Uso. And then, Jey Uso gets tossed into the ring and proceeds to get murdered by a tsunami from Big Bronson Reed. Obviously with the DQ win, I don't know what it was. CM Punk came down to kind of help them a little bit by tossing a chair into the ring and going after Rollins, and they, the heels kind of took off after that. But fantastic match. But I mean, obviously the result was going to be what it was, right? Like we knew that there wasn't going to be a finish here, but it was nice to see. I'm on the fence about this, and I think we should do I'd like to have a longer conversation about disqualification finishes because there's an awful lot of them, all of the time. But I don't know if you guys quickly want to just give your thoughts on the overall match because we kind of knew what was going to happen here, right?
Yeah. I mean, the match did exactly what we expected it to, and really, honestly, what it needs to do for this storyline.
Well, the smart thing for WWE in that match was allowing Braun Breaker and Bronson to look as dominant. They dominated most of the match, which really set the stage for them to be okay. These aren't some guys we can mess around with. I just can't wait to find out if they're going to bring somebody else involved in this storyline. That's what I'm wondering. I would have thought that they would maybe wield in LA Knight because he's had a few with Seth Rollins. Didn't they have a conversation a few weeks ago backstage, him and Seth Rollins or something like that?
I think so.
So I mean, you could have. I'm wondering if they're going to bring somebody else, or if it's just going to be Jay, CM Punk, and Sammy. But I'm having fun with the storyline right now, and I just can't wait for Roman to get back. This is what I'm waiting for. because there's just so much chatter on the internet about whatever it is he's bringing back with him, and allegedly he's going to like create some sort of shield type thing again.
That would be pretty cool. Next we had Kairi Sane come to the ring, who was having a match with Raquel Rodriguez. This was a really relatively nothing match, and we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, just kind of furthering the Judgment Day nonsense that was going on. We had Kairi obviously did pick up the win when Liv got herself involved, and then Io came down to help her as well. Kairi hit that awesome insane elbow for the win. I'm really glad that they're letting Kairi pick up wins here, and maybe they're hopefully building her up for when Asuka comes back, which will help sort of elevate that faction a little bit, I think. But overall, right person won here, and it's, as we mentioned at the top of the show, kind of furthering the Judgment Day dissension.
Yep. To be brief, that's all it is just to continue the breakup of that faction.
I mean, I don't even know if it's going to be so much of a breakup, but it's obviously of the core group that's together right now. There's, see a separation at some point. But I mean, I think they're kind of dragging it out. They're going to kind of speed this one up a little bit because it's taken quite a while for them to get through this storyline right now.
Yeah, it feels like it's been going on forever.
Mm-hmm.
So then we had a trainer checking on Sami Zayn when Karrion Kross approached him, and Karrion Kross told Sami Zayn that he's a liar and he basically should be a bad guy, which they got to, like you guys said at the top of the show, they need to do something with Kross because the dude's over his shit right now, and it's awesome to see.
Love it.
We also had Jey Uso backstage as well when Gunther walked up to him, and Gunther basically was like, Jey, you're selfless, but this is a selfish business and you got to stop helping all your friends because you're not a good champion, and you're a great person, but you're not a good champion. And I really love, all of the promo work that Gunther is doing to build up this title. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens next week after the Money in the Bank, to see where they go with the title, assuming Rollins wins it, because by this time next week, Seth Rollins will likely be the champion on Raw. Because I'm assuming he will come out and cash in on the winner of that match almost instantaneously. It makes so much sense for him to do that. So this led us into the main event, which was AJ Styles versus Chad Gable, Grande Americano, and CM Punk for the final qualifying spot for the men's Money in the Bank match. Quickly, guys, if you want to just give your thoughts on the match and then kind of the surprising way that it ended.
Fantastic match. I'm not gonna lie, surprised that El Grande won. Figured it would either be Punk or Styles that got the win, but I'm not gonna complain. Even though we know El Grande is not gonna win, they'll use him to, no doubt, further the Penta storyline as well.
And you know what? Who would ever thought you'd see CM Punk and AJ Styles in a ring together?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's not forget that. I mean,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And obviously, we get at least we get all three of these guys in the ring, because I'm a big fan of Chad Gable and his wrestling. You can't go wrong. It was a great show. It was a great match. I was shocked. And to what you said earlier, Mike, they are just kind of lining that up for Seth to win the Money in the Bank, because there's really nobody else, in our opinion, is a threat to win it, to be quite frank. And I don't know what you would do with anybody else in the match with the Money in the Bank, considering all the storylines you got going on around these belts.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we mentioned, Styles went to go for the apron at the end of the match and to try and hit the phenomenal forearm, but somehow El Grande snuck in the loaded mask and blasted him for the win, for the pinfall win. So El Grande Americano will join Andrade, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa, and Penta for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match.
Loaded mask.
Yeah, right. So as we mentioned, overall, this was a fantastic show. I think they did a really good job helping to further some feuds and get us really pumped up for Money in the Bank. I think it's going to be a great, great show. SmackDown definitely needs to follow suit, and I think we need, I think Cody needs to open that show and really get us hyped for that match as well. And it's going to be very interesting to see where they go with Jey Uso and if he's even champion a week from now. So, what was your final rating on for Raw then, guys?
I give it a 3. It's a 3. I could push a 3.5 for some of the promo work on this particular show, but I'll give it 3.5 because the promo work was great. It's probably one of the better Raws with the promo work. I wasn't bored with anybody talking. Nobody drug on with their promos. It was pretty there, right to the point. Overall, I give it a 3.5.
I couldn't agree more. 3.5 across the board. It was a solid show, good wrestling, good promos, good furthering as the go home show before Money at the Bank this weekend.
Completely agree. I think it was a great show. I love the promo work. I love the opening, and all the matches were fantastic. So as always, guys, thank you so much. That was our Raw review for Raw on June the 2nd. I can't believe it is June already. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the 716 Sports Entertainment Podcast. As always, smash that like and subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Have yourselves a great evening and take